let's talk about Daredevil Born Again. So there are 2 episodes out. We'll go ahead and give our scores and then get into spoilers. We'll give a spoiler warning before we move into spoilers. Alex, do you want to go ahead and start off with your scores for episodes 1 and 2?
Yeah. So Daredevil season 1, well, I guess Born Again season 1.
Yep.
Technically, this is season 4 if you want to connect it together. But episode 1, I absolutely loved. I gave episode 1 a 10 out of 10. So I feel like I'm blowing these 10 out of 10s, man. I loved it. That opening, I mean, there was some, like the CGI was a little iffy in some parts, but excluding that, I loved everything about episode 1. There's things that happened in the first 10 minutes that, God, it was perfectly done. I personally feel like, as far as intensity and emotionally and stuff, and just the whole episode was just interesting. I thought it was filmed really well. I thought they did interesting filming techniques. I thought the lighting was good. I thought the action was great. I thought the acting was great. The setup for the season, there wasn't a thing I disliked, excluding maybe a little spotty CGI here or there, that I didn't like about episode 1. Loved it. 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Episode 2, it was good. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Definitely a drop in quality, but it's hard to top the first episode in my opinion. But 7 out of 10. I still thought it was above average. It just, kind of cooled off a little bit and settled down. And I'm sure it will go up, but it was kind of more of like a calm down episode. Still great. The setup is great. Some scenes are still great, just not to the height of episode 1 for me personally. So 7 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. We're still similar, but we got a few differences. So episode 1, I also agree, was awesome. I loved the start. It was a very strong start to the show. I love what they did to kick it off. Action was great. It set up some things with like character motivations that are really interesting, dealing with some heavy themes and new character dynamics. So I give episode 1 a 9. I agree there was some spotty CGI, but that's, kind of the only thing that held it back from a 10 for me. And then episode 2, I agree it was a little step down, but I think I liked it a little bit more than you. I gave it an 8. There were some things like, I don't know, both of these episodes they had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was like glued to the screen. Yeah. Even like just Matt walking down the street, they somehow make really cool and interesting.
Yeah.
I love the camera work and the sounds that they do. They really keep me invested in the show. And so even in this slower episode, I was still enjoying every second of it. So I gave it an 8.
Okay. I could totally see that being an 8. Yeah.
And there's something that happens at the end of episode 2 that I thought almost brought it up to episode 1. Like there was a really cool scene that I liked in episode 2. So we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So we're similar.
I think we average out to the same score, basically.
Yeah. I think the thing that surprised me the most was the camera work. It felt very, it almost felt kind of artsy fartsy in a way compared to the original show from what I remember.
Yeah, I agree.
Which isn't not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way, yeah.
It was interesting, the camera work they did, and they did some scenes, the interviews and stuff. And I thought it was really interesting, and I was surprised by it, but I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
But yeah, we can get into spoilers because can't really talk much.
Yeah. So spoiler alert for Daredevil Born Again episodes 1 and 2. I would say that we recommend it. We both give it pretty high scores.
Yeah, go watch it. And if you don't want to watch the original show, just watch like a recap. But I recommend still watching the original show.
Yeah.
That opening 10 minutes or whatever it was, my God, dude, that may be... Now, I still think some of the fights were better in like the first season, like that hallway fight in the first season stuff.
Oh, so amazing. Yes.
But as far as like the sound and the emotion of it and the intensity of it, I think as far as like that, I think this is the best fight we've seen. When you incorporate everything else, I think the hallway fight scene is better.
Like technically better.
Yes, this like technically in the sense of like when he's fighting and he could hear Foggy's heartbeat.
Yes.
And then he's like crying and he's still fighting and he's checking to see if he can still hear Foggy's heartbeat and Karen crying.
That.
I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
That detail they added with the sound of him just checking in on Foggy and it like getting like you don't hear it as much when he's like focused on fighting, and then when it slows down you can tell that he's checking in on him again. Oh, that was a really cool detail. I loved that.
You could, if you look closely, you could start seeing like crying or teary-eyed when he's fighting, and oh my God, it was. And the fight was still great. Like, I'm almost speechless, like just how freaking, like, I didn't expect it.
I know, right out the gate like that, yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, because Kara watched this episode with me, and she watched some of season 1, like the original show, but not all of it. And I'm like, they literally just killed off like a main character in the first 10 minutes.
They did. and then had like a crazy hallway fight scene in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, all
too.
the first 10 minutes. Yeah, she liked these episodes too, and she's not like
Nice.
a superhero person.
Yeah.
And I think it's because this has a lot of like the lawyer stuff too, and it's a good balance of like, you know, with Matt, this good side and this devil side, you know.
Yep.
Daredevil's always been interesting in that.
And I love that part when he's on the roof and like when Foggy flatlines and he can't hear the heartbeat anymore.
Yes.
Just his little like he doesn't like get enraged and start beating him up. He just simply is like, I'm done, shoves him off the roof. Oh man, that was such a crazy moment too.
Yes, and I loved how who was it? Maybe the guy who saw him. Someone asked him why he stopped, and he said, "What was the line? I should have written it down." But he said something along the lines of like he didn't like his response when something bad happened. Like his best friend died, and he couldn't control himself. I don't know the specific line. I should have written it down. I might go back and look at it because I really like the line. He said it better, and I'm explaining it. But even excluding the first 10 minutes. I still thought the rest of the episode was great.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even see Fisk for like 20 or 5 minutes or something.
Yep. But the idea of Fisk becoming mayor is such a cool setup for this whole season. Oh, it's so great. And having Matt just like walking down the street, hearing all the people talking about Kingpin and so many people like saying good things about him and just having to deal with that. And then his talk with Kingpin at the diner. I don't remember if that was episode 1 or 2.
I can't remember either.
But man,
that was a great scene.
That was a great scene.
It almost seemed like X is like sitting at a table talking. Like, it's good to see you.
And so many undertones of just like what they've been through and how much they know about each other. And it was so good. That had me glued to the screen.
Let me ask you this. Is Fisk actually trying to like control himself and something's just gonna let him loose? Or is this just a facade? Like, does he actually want to change?
That's a good question. I feel like they're still doing some shady stuff with Vanessa's company stuff.
Yes.
So I don't think so. Because even Fisk is like, this has to be like squeaky clean and like making it seem like even though they're still doing shady stuff, it has to look clean is what I took it as. So,
or is he saying it needs to be squeaky clean, so you need to stop this, Vanessa?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't trust Fisk like that.
Because he walked in there and kind of seemed mad that she was still running those meetings and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I mean, I don't trust him either.
If he is going clean, there is going to be something that sets him off. Like Vanessa's going to die and he's going to go crazy. Yeah.
Either way, he's going to get set off. I just don't know if he's just hiding, if he's like hiding it and is just always going to be like that, or if he's truly trying and something set him back in the wrong course.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, I'm sure Karen will show up more and hopefully in some future episodes.
I think I saw that they're not like they killed Foggy off and had Karen move because they shot a bunch of scenes for this. I don't know. Basically, they added those people in rewrites and stuff. So in season 2, maybe she'll come back is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, because I think they're contemplating whether or not the original show was going to be canon or something like that. But then I think they did rewrites, and I think they wrote in those first 10 minutes with Foggy.
That's crazy.
Like you said, which was crazy because that's like the best scene so far.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not the best fight, but I say it's not the best fight scene, but it was still an awesome freaking fight scene.
Yeah, it was. It was like at the end where Daredevil has like 50 knives in him and him kicking all the stuff out of the way of people, like trying to save people.
They're still kind of getting out of breath and like it still feels real, like raw.
Yeah, and it was all like one shot with the camera zooming back. Yeah, it was good. It was definitely good.
In the show, like when it first started and they were kind of like Foggy and Karen, they showed them walking down the aisle. I was kind of thinking like, are they going to do something bad right here? Because the music was kind of like, the way it was filming and like the music was kind of like somber. Did it feel like that for you? Like there was something looming?
Yeah.
If like that's what it felt like for me in the first, before even the craziness.
I agree. Yeah, something was going to happen.
And then they had Foggy like step outside to talk like, oh, what's going to happen? But then they tricked me because they're like, oh, I'm storing him at this house. So, Daredevil you went to go check that house. So Foggy's going to be fine.
Yep. But nope.
And then nope. Oh, dude.
I love Foggy too. I'm so sad.
I know.
No.
I did too. He was such a good friend. Like he was kind of like the anchor for Matt.
Yep. Which that does make it more interesting coming up, like him not having that anchor or that voice of reason, or I feel like he's going to be more unhinged, especially without Foggy there and Karen.
Yes. I think so too. Because I watched like recaps of the first few, like each season. And like Foggy was the anchor. I mean, in season 2 with the Punisher and stuff, he was the one telling Matt, like, you need to do this through the law, not through Daredevil. Like, he was the anchor. And like now he's gone. And it's like, that's true. That is kind of an interesting thought. Like, how does he, maybe that's why Matt doesn't want to do it, right? He doesn't have that.
Maybe.
Because without Karen and Foggy, it's like, it's kind of alone. I know he has his new partner and stuff.
But he also kind of lost his faith too. Like, what is gonna ground his morals? That's gonna
true.
Be tough.
Because the faith. You're right. I say Foggy's his anchor, but you could argue faith is even bigger anchor.
Yeah.
Because his faith is the biggest.
And I think that's why the thing in episode 2 that I think brought it up to an 8 to me is the fight in the apartment at the end, because that one, it also felt really real, but it wasn't one of those long drawn out ones. It was like so efficient and quick. It's like those two guys started attacking him and he just destroyed them.
Yeah.
I really liked that fight, and then his just raw scream at the end.
He even said, like, just don't do this, guys. Like, he knew if he started, he wasn't gonna stop. Like, so we're kind of getting like an unhinged Daredevil, pretty much.
Yep, that's what the scream felt like.
He didn't even suit up this episode.
Nope.
Yeah, this is good stuff, man.
They did show a shot of his blood being left at the scene, so I wonder if that's going to be, if he's going to get in trouble or someone's going to set him up for something, or I don't know. That could be a thing where they find his DNA there and something happens.
Also, something we didn't talk about is it was interesting how they had Bullseye, the one will be the one to kill Foggy and stuff. Because he was in season 3. I don't know if it's the same actor or not, but
I think it was.
Maybe it was. Well, okay. And we didn't even touch on the fact of how did he live that fall?
I think it's because they reinforced his spine. And did they do that in season 3?
I don't remember.
But yeah, it still seems like a fall he would not live.
No, I mean that was 6-7 stories up or whatever it was.
Yeah,
maybe not that high. 3, 4 stories up. But like, I mean, it looked like he was dead, and then he just like opened his eyes.
Yep,
he should be dead. I'll say that. Maybe I'm missing something from season 3. But Homeboy fell high. I mean, he should be dead.
Definitely.
But maybe I'm thinking too much into it. And then they talked about that. Who's that other vigilante?
White Tiger.
Yeah. So he was talking about how he didn't have his jewel suit or his jewel. So does that jewel like power him or something?
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. His pendant or whatever, gives him his powers.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I kind of like the idea of another vigilante.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that character.
I don't either.
Like from comics or anything, so that'll be interesting.
I don't either. From the sounds of it, he's a good guy.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I'm just curious. So that will be kind of interesting because I don't know a single thing about him either. But I liked the character, and I liked it's interesting. Like the cops almost like telling a different story, like corrupted cops almost.
And that lawyer stuff with that's going to be interesting. I do like the lawyer scenes and stuff in Daredevil too. And those are good.
Yeah, that's what hooks Kara is the lawyer stuff. And then I like both too. But it's like a blend between like kind of like a lawyer law show and which it always has been, even the older season. I was worried because let's be real, Marvel hasn't had a great track record with shows.
Yeah.
And plus, like the original Netflix show was like so gritty and raw, and like especially season 1 was almost perfection.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, there's no way it's gonna be as good, or they're gonna screw something up major. I mean, but no, these first 2 episodes, I mean, they didn't shy away from the violence, the cussing, nothing.
I will say that if you have a show with Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, I will watch it. Like those two are so great in those roles. I will absolutely watch it. Yes. Charlie Cox is so as Matt Murdock, he's like he can be so charismatic.
He is the Daredevil, like almost like Hugh Jackman as X-Men or as Wolverine. He is Daredevil, man.
Yeah. He does such a good job.
I can't picture like Ben Affleck as Daredevil anymore.
Yeah.
And even Fisk, like you said, what's his face?
Vincent D'Onofrio
as Fisk. Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio as Fisk. Kara can't stand his voice. I'm like, that's him. He's like, he sounds like he needs to clear his throat.
That's funny.
I'm like, I mean, kind of. Because he talks like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, Kara, that's just Kingpin.
I like it.
I don't know how he's supposed to sound because like comics are reread, but it works. So
it works.
Yeah, she likes it. I was actually surprised she liked it.
Yeah, that's cool.
But no, it was great. And I think I'm so used to the Netflix shows, the old seasons, like it aired all at once.
Yeah, I know.
So we can kind of binge it. And now we gotta wait weekly.
I'm looking up how many episodes there are because I didn't look before this. It looks like 9 episodes.
9? as much as I complain about the weekly format, I like the weekly format. It's easier to dive into each episode and kind of get excited for the next episode.
I agree.
I did read, this is off topic, I did read that Andor is going to be aired in chunks.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's
like 3 at a time or something.
Which makes sense because last season there was like 3 episode arcs.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So it's kind of cool that they're doing like 3, 3, 3, 3.
I feel like we're going to get an Andor like movie every week. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I like that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But their structure, it makes sense for that. I don't know if it does for like a normal show.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Daredevil was great. Pleasantly surprised. I hope the rest of the season kind of holds up because I don't remember last time I've given 2 10 out of 10s in one video.
I don't think that's happened. Yeah.
No, I don't think it has. No. Sounds like I feel like we're usually conservative with our scores, and we're bringing pretty high scores.
I feel like we've been spoiled.
Yeah, we have been, because any of these could have. I mean, Invincible season 2 wasn't as great. Severance, maybe the first season would have been an anomaly or something.
Yeah, could have been.
Daredevil being on Disney Plus, all these could have been bombs.
Yeah, true.
and we liked them all.
Yep,
loved them all. Jeez. But yeah, that's all I have really. Yeah, I mean, there's more with Daredevil, but we can delve into as episodes come.
Yeah, agreed.